Okay, hello. All right, the message today that I was getting, my beautiful collective, here is based around leadership, based upon what the true meaning of leadership is to you, um, your mission here, uh, what it is that you're supposed to do in order to become this leader, and what it is that you're supposed to release, accept, surrender, allow to in order to ascend, elevate into this leadership role that I believe you're being called into at this time. I believe you're in a place right now in life where you innately feel as though you have a calling, a mission, a purpose, right? And perhaps it's very misunderstood by others around you, um, to the point that it's led to loneliness along the path, being misunderstood, creating a lot of conflict of interest amongst the groups that you perhaps believe that would be, your support system. And I think that you've taken action to detox from the energies of people sort of telling you how to do it, when to do it, and why. Okay, I believe that Source, the creator, has sort of handed you over the keys to your own kingdom. Excuse me. And with great power comes great responsibility, right? And a lot of that responsibility is also in knowing when uh, you have to have strong boundaries, not only to protect yourself, but to protect the purpose that you're trying to achieve. Um, what I deeply feel here is that there's a conflict of interest here. There's a conflict of doing for other versus self, right? And I think that sometimes wanting to do for yourself, to go after your dreams, go after your goals, create a foundation for these things to be able to flourish, right? Maybe you have an oddball way to doing things, or perhaps you've isolated and sort of become more of this lone wolf energy, right? But it's sort of you reserving your energy, your juices, in order to pour into these things that you feel will open doors to the purpose that you're here to rise to. Um, and I believe that in doing so, people are misunderstanding your way, right? I believe people are resisting this change within you, right? Because I had the judgment in reverse here. There's a lot of frustration here, and perhaps people are seeing you as, you know, I'm getting, I'm hearing out red spot. I'm not quite sure if that's Edgar Allan Poe. I hope you guys, I hope you guys are following along. I mean, I believe it's from it might be from Hamlet actually. I'll have to look into that, but it's almost like this. The frustration is in seeing this thing that they can't erase, right? This, and perhaps they throughout your life, throughout your you know, your growth, um, your childhood, you experience many times people trying to um, squash your light and tell you that the way you saw the world was wrong. So they try to hand you the book as to the way it's supposed to be, right? This is the way. And I think that in a lot of ways you sort of rejected that. And I think that because you rejected the way, because you saw the flaws in it, you saw the flaws in the plan, you saw it had no direction. And I think that in a lot of ways, people have really thrown everything at you. They see you as dishonest. They see you as a bearer of bad news. They see you as someone, you know, that has broken a foundation, has broken a unit. Uh, I would like to say that you're perhaps seen as the black sheep, the scapegoat. But I think you really truly did this in order to get your foot into the the pool of, that you're trying to really swim in. You're moving from a pond to the ocean. You understand what I'm saying? It's like there's bigger fish, and I think that because of this, people kind of, I don't want to use the word hate, but they really resent you. They resent the fact that you can do this all alone. You can do this no matter how much they've cut your resources, how many silent treatments, how many conflicts, how many arguments, how much they try to beat you into submission. You've sort of been able to create balance, right? Alchemize the energy into something that feels pure, feels like you're in the right path. I honestly just feel like you're not leaving it up to the 3D to tell you what's right. I think you sort of surrender to the divine, to source, to that pulling your soul towards your soul mission, right? And I think that in doing so, people consider you selfish, and it's perhaps created adversity, and in this adversity, uh, and these people intentionally trying to isolate you and have you sit in the energy of regret and guilt and reclusiveness, right? I think people wanted you to come begging back for approval, uh, for love. And I think that you've decided that that is not what you want to do. You're standing firmly in that, yes, you come from something that added to your life and it created you to be what you are. Not necessarily the bad things, but you being able to alchemize, you've been able to um, sort through the ugly to find the beauty in it all. And I think that uh, in doing so, you know that being a leader is not ruling with an iron fist. It's more about acceptance. It's more about approaching life with a lightheartedness, right? Accepting others as they come to you, right? Even though these people do not accept you as you are, you accept them, right? You're not really necessarily saying you have to change for me in order for me to love you. You're saying I can love you. You can be shitty, and I can still see the good in you. I just want to focus here on the people that see life the way that I see it, and I want to pour more into that, right? And I think that these are karmic families, karmic systems um, that have come against you solely because of this. And in some way, you're figuring out how to keep your environment clean, how to keep your temple, your home, your environment positive, right? I think that you're being called to accept this, right? To detox from familiarity and accept the unknown. And again, it can be very scary, especially when you don't have a support system, right? Other than the divine, your guides. Uh, you are on a higher mission, okay? It's really what it's coming across as. And, um, you know, through history, we've seen that people that come here with higher missions are usually rejected, right? The norm is what people kind of want. Status quo is what people are comfortable with. But when you come here and you're not afraid to ruffle feathers or say things truly from your throat chakra, being completely clear and open and aware and connected, right? It intimidates others because how dare you? And I think that's what is coming across a lot. I was also getting this song, I Get So Lonely. Um, so, but that could be a relationship thing, right? Some of you may perhaps have been in relationships that severed because of looking at life through different lenses, right? And I think that it's created a void. So there's a sense of grieving here, a sense of knowing that the way things are, they can never go back to, including in those family systems or group systems, right? Um, It's a lot of acceptance, a lot of humility, right? And I think people don't necessarily want that for you. They want you to fall in line, and you're sort of creating a ruffle here. Um, Regardless of the fact, I do feel like you are heading towards something that's very rewarding. There's something big coming towards you that is sort of being cultivated because you decided to take a step back and really see your process as, excuse me, confirmation. Uh, to step back and see your process as sacred, right? As you know, how trees first build, they grow from the roots up, right? You know, you have to really get firmly in your roots into what you believe, into your system, into your belief system, into your Tao, you know, into why you're here, why you have to create this process in this way. It's painful. I know the process has been painful, and it feels like everything is being thrown at you. But I really truly feel, um, but there's so much knowledge, so much that can be taken away for goodness in this isolation, in this desire to sort of focus on the self and do the self work and the shadow work and understanding your why. Uh, this is not an accident. I feel like this is very divinely orchestrated in order for you to ascend to your highest, you know, your highest level. And I believe that, again, like I said, you know, even Jesus, you know, he came here, if you believe in that, you know, you can believe in what you want. But the Messiah came here, um, in Christianity to spread the word, right? To and at that time to spread the word of God and to let people know that to be connected to God is not necessarily to be connected to systems, right? The system, the universe, the world, the creator exists within you, in your halls, in your temples, right? Um, and I think that to see the world from that viewpoint can be very stunning, can be shocking to people. Um, and I think in those times, especially when the Messiah walked the earth, I think that the main purpose was to say that, you know, I'm not better than you. I am you. I am, you know, again, I don't really follow religion, but this is my understanding. You know, you too can be what I am. You just have to understand that the creator is not outside of you and beautiful in a decked out brick and mortar building. The creator exists within you, within your soul, and within your universe, you know. Um, yeah, and I think you've been isolated greatly because of this. However, I do feel like life is about to pay you back in some way. Life is about, because I have the Nine of Cups here twice. So this is wish fulfillment, right? The nines in themselves are also very solitary, right? Think of the hermit. Um, think of the of Pentacles. Think of the Nine of Wands. These are energies that, through solace, through loneliness, through alone time, through introspection, retrospection, um, they can see into the future, right? The hermit sees into the star, into the future, into alignment, right? And I believe that if I were to do more tarot, the star will probably come out. I really strongly feel that you're in your star energy, and stars, you know, you can't take your eyes off them. In the evening sky, your eyes automatically go to the brightest star in the sky, and I think that you're sort of in your era of being a bright star. You may see yourself as just a regular dangler, right? But I think that the divine has chosen you, picked you. I won't even label this as chosen, anointed, right? I would say that you have a divine relationship with the universe, with the creator, right? And you know that you're here to take off the pink colored glasses and see things as they are, to know that you are just as foundational as, you know, as this system is trying to create itself to be, right? You're part of a larger system. And I think you're here to share that. You're here to show people that. Not in you doing grand gestures, but in your existence, in your words, in the way you move people, right? And I think, again, it creates a lot of pushback. All right, let's see if there's anything else that comes out here. Again, my name is Neffy. This is my channel, Higher Self Hive. Please like, subscribe. It greatly helps me and the algorithm. I really appreciate your time, your energy, and viewing my reads. Thank you. All right. What is the liquid outcome of all of this? The star. I'm sorry. The sun. And it says happiness, success, vitality, joy, confidence, truth. I mean, you're walking in truth. Most people don't like to see truth, right? You stare at the sun too long, you can go blind. And I think a lot of people are realizing that perhaps the way that they have existed, the way that they have lived, the way that they have moved in this world, um, is wrong in some way, because you're showing them that you're doing things in a different way, and somehow you're still joyous, you're still happy, you still have kindness, right? You did not become what tried to break you. And again, I feel strongly these systems that try to break you through many forms, through many ways, through many people, the same system in different bodies, you know. They wanted to beat you down and create struggle for you, and somehow you've elevated like the cream to the top, right? And I strongly believe in, and again, on this sun card, there's a unicorn. Again, you're very, very, very unique here in this world. Your energy signature is special. And also on this one, you see a young baby girl dressed, you know, sort of in this purple and pink, you know. Intuitively, you've been moved. Your inner child has been moving you through the world. You've kept that little bit of joy, that little bit of innocence, right? I'm not saying you're naive, but maybe you come across as that. But wherever you go, you sort of leave a footprint, right? Even if they try to diminish you and throw a lot of shadow at you, you still some sort of way find the light. And I think that that's what you're here to really do. Go against the adversity while still keeping that inner child, protecting that inner child, right? Even if that means detoxing from the world, from people you truly love, right? Creating the environment that you want to exist in for others as well, right? You are a joy, you are a pleasure to be around. And I think that that irritates people's demons. Their shadows, right? People's ugliest sides come out when they see that you do not require them to be joyous or to be happy. You could be in a box under a bridge and you're probably still like, thank you, God, for waking me up today and giving me this little packet of sugar I found on the side of the road. We understand, and I'm not saying that being homeless is a great thing. I'm pretty sure it's not. However, I do feel like maintaining that joyousness, that gratitude, that bliss within you, no matter what your circumstances, is so. It's sort of saying F you to the systems that try to break you and isolate you and create damage within you, right? I think that you're showing your story in itself, showing that you can rise no matter what happens, right? And I don't mean to discredit you. I feel like letting go of these things, these triggers, this turmoil. I mean, I truly feel like I almost want to cry a little bit at the feeling of how hard that it's probably been for you, how challenging that has probably been for you to process, to exist. And so I send you a lot of love and warmth. I, I'm grateful that you have been able to elevate through that process, right? But again, for the sun to be here, you're going into a newer time. You have shifted. Um, it's almost like reality is responding now to your purity of heart, right? What else Spirit. Yeah, again, I said that there's something big coming. I truly, definitely believe that um, the creator of the universe is going to set you up to receive. Stay open to it, right? Um, the likelihood is that there'll be someone, something unexpected that shows up in your life to create a way, to create a path that's of ease, a little bit easier than you've had, a little bit more support than you've had, right? Your soul tribe, as they say. Um, People that want to see you succeed, to be able to move forward and spread this light, right? And I think it's going to come from an unknown place, honestly, but it's well deserved. You've made yourself into this person brick by brick, quietly. And I think that the world is finally saying, you know what? You see it now. Here you go. The divine sees it. Always has, but was waiting for you to see it as well. Right? With the sun here. This is your truth. This is your divine truth. This is who you are. From what you receive, you give. And the universe will continuously repay you in that same manner, right? Don't give up. Don't let the overcast dim your light, right? I think that there's always a process, even in joy, even in success, even in pain, that we have to alchemize and transmute. There is a way. We have one more card here. Please start as advice and let the outcome. And here I also have the Ace of Hearts, which is, if you can see, it says new beginning, good news, happiness. Soon have a cause for you to forget money troubles, serious quarrels, etc. And this is also, again, when I was speaking about the loneliness, that's perhaps someone out there uh, probably was grieving a relationship that they had to release in order to step into this new beginning, this shift. So I think that, again, the divine is rewarding you. It's a role reverse. This is for everything you've been through. Here you go. This is my band-aid on that wound, you know. I also have the Six of Wands here. Success, prosperity, financial help, victory, achievement, passing tests. You did it. I think you've really shifted. You've passed every test that this universe, this system has tried to use to keep you down, keep you weighed down to the point that you thought you would never get here. And here you are. You know, I fully believe that things are going to shift and they're going to become easier, better. Yes, there's a little bit of quietness, and I think that you should enjoy it at this time, because I really do feel like things will change and you will be here. You know, one of the core folks. This is leadership. Core folks here to help spread this knowledge, this gnosis, this love, because I think primarily you function in an energy of love, of warmth, of purity, of heart. There's freedom that's here for you. All right, let's see. Is there anything else here, Spirit? One more. Yeah, there's people watching you. Definitely people watching you. People from the past. Seeing how you've changed. How you didn't allow the hurt from the past from keeping you back from moving forward and doing what it is that you were called to do here, right? You're going into a new cycle of truth, protection, direction, right? And perhaps a new love. Again, I don't really like using this word here. It says twin flame. However, I do feel like you are in balance. Okay, your masculine and divine feminine energies have aligned, right? You're ready to create as well as you are ready to receive, and the universe is ready to respond to that. Um, yeah, I think I will leave it there. I hope to speak to you guys soon again. Please like, subscribe. It's been a pleasure reading for you today. Thank you so much. Have a good day.